Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Sureshnie and welcome to another edition of Boston Broadcast. This is the Study Sesh, where we unlock something really important from the knowledge sector. I'm so chuffed to have AC Botha with us in studio today. AC, what's up? How you doing?
Hi, Sureshnie. Good, and you?
Good, thank you. AC, today we're going to uncover and unpack the world of a situational analysis. Now, in my head, I was like, what's the sitch? People often say, so what's the situation? And I'd like to take myself back into a nightclub because obviously, being a former DJ, one of the things I could imagine when you talk about a situational analysis as a DJ is walking into a nightclub. So let's imagine you and I are going to a gig. Okay, and you and I are going to be the DJ. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to read the room. What's the crowd's vibe like? What's their age group? I mean, I'm not going to play music that is not targeted to somebody that's really going to love Kanye West right now, or Olivia Rodrigo, or Taylor Swift. I can't also play music for the oldies because it's not the target market that I'm speaking to. I also need to figure out, like, okay, so what is this whole vibe? What are they trying to market? What are they trying to promote? So in my head, situational analysis, it's like, hey, Sush, you're in this room. Now you need to figure it out. Am I kind of on the right track?
No, you're 100%.
Yes.
So basically what you said is 100% on track. It's like a snapshot of your the current situation in the market. For now, we look at from an organization's perspective. You look at the environment you're in. You're going to see what the organization offers, what we give the customers, to who we give what we do. It's a product or service that we're going to deliver. What are we doing? Is it good? Is the product service quality good? And what's the competitors doing? So we evaluate what they're doing. It's a snapshot of exactly what's happening, where you're standing now as an organization.
Okay, so it's basically you walk in the room and you need to figure out all of the challenges that might be ahead. You need to figure out if there are leaks, how to plug those leaks, basically, so that you get like effective optimization of what you want to sell. Now,
Definitely.
if you were to go step by step, what would be my first step if I was doing something with situational analysis? Where do I start?
I think, like anything in life, you will need to create like a summary or a scope that you're going to work in. Define what you're going to look at first. Mm-hmm. So normally you'll look at your market, the entire market, your target market. Then you'll look at the competitors, what they're offering, what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and you bring it home then to what are we doing? Are we providing what type of service, and does that align to what's happening outside, and how can we improve it? So then we have like a little snapshot. This is what we're going to focus on. This is the scope. And now you can go on and say, let's look at strategies. How are we going to get that information?
Oh, perfect. So again, let's go back to that club scenario. You and I are the DJs. We want to have an effective night as a promoter. We walk into this nightclub. We first of all look at the target market, look at around this. We read the room basically. And then we work out what is it that makes this club like so hot right now versus the club next door, and then work out what would make us the differentiator to stand out in order to get more customers to come in. So it's doing that scope, it's doing a little bit of legwork and a little bit of homework before we jump to the next step. So let's say we have checked out this nightclub, we know where the bar is, we know the kind of DJs they have, we know the kind of audience they pull in, the kind of music they play, and we know the target market they're speaking to. Other than defining the scope, what kind of research would we have to do to move to the third step, maybe?
So it will be good for you as a company to employ various research methods to describe your target. So the target market analysis. You'll dive right into that. And afterwards, you'll also do a competitive analysis to see. You're looking at the target and you're looking at the competitors. That's your main viewpoint at this stage.
So once we've done the target, is there a deeper dive into a SWOT analysis maybe? What is a SWOT analysis? Yes. Like it's figuring out our strengths and our weaknesses?
Yes, definitely. So there's various tools available. This is where the rubber hits the tar. Practical tools, the SWOT analysis, the 5 C's. But let's say for the SWOT analysis, it's always a great tool. You're going to look as an organization, you're going to take your strengths and your weaknesses, your threats and opportunities. And so, of course, the SWOT the strengths and the weaknesses are internal factors that the organization can influence. They can change that. But the threats and opportunities of the external environments, things you can't change. You can look at it. You can change your internal strategy to let's say there's opportunity. You take that opportunity, you change your strategy, and you go for it. So let's say, for instance, your strength is you have a great product. Now you're gonna look at your weakness. Let's say your service is a bit sketchy. You're small, so your brand name's not really out there yet. So your marketing strategy is not too active. And opportunities, of course, will be, let's say it's a health product. The market is more health conscious now. So that's opportunity already. And then your threat, well, let's say, for instance, it's a cutthroat competitive environment. So that's a threat. You can't do anything. But now you have to capitalize on your strengths and your weaknesses to make your weakness a strength, because you can, it's internal, and take your strength and focus on it when you do your advertising strategy. So you can, and also linking the opportunity and strength with each other to make sure you capitalize on the variables that you can change and capitalize on. I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if you look at that example that you've just laid out, it's like a popular beverage. Like, remember when Prime hit the market in South Africa? It was absolutely like, oh my gosh, what is this craziness? And their strength came from the fact that it was already a very strong brand. And the opportunity existed for South Africans to either like this, and how do I make it like so viral that everybody wants to get it, and people were lining up at midnight to buy this particular bottle. There are many threats, of course, because there are other competitive brands or juices or drinks or energy type of drinks that are very similar, but they had something that was like that little X factor. Clearly, they understood the market. They used influences. They knew exactly how to infiltrate to get the consumer to basically turn over and, convert their love for what they used to like into this brand new product. So is it kind of like similarly aligned in what I'm thinking?
Exactly. So yeah, that's exactly what we do.
Okay, so let's say we've run this, we've done a test. How important is consumer insights? Let's say we've done this promotion with the beverage. It looked like it was super successful. We managed to move stock off the shelves. How important do you think is consumer insights during this whole process?
No, it's critical. I mean, we deliver a product or service to the consumer. So if you provide product or service to a consumer that's not interested or feels like it's against their moral or beliefs, it's going to be a train smash. So you need to have to delve into the consumer insights. And we look at demographic segmentation. So segmenting the market into portions that makes it easier for organization to identify who to target. And everything all the data you're getting from that is it's going to group the consumer into different markets. And then when you create your strategy, you know exactly who the consumer is, what they like, what they don't like, what they find offensive, what they really enjoy as comedy. Let's say, for instance, a company like Coke. They all over the world, and in different countries, it's the same logo, but they use different colors.
Yeah.
So I know, if I can recall correctly, I don't think it's China or somewhere, but somewhere in the East, red is aggressive color. And they find it. Yeah. So they had to adjust that, but they can only know that after they've done they got the consumer insights.
Got it.
So it's critical.
Now, so I'm somebody that's very much involved with research and insights when it comes to working in the media world, and this completely aligns with what I understand. So it's like you're doing a massive market research, and imagine like it's a really big circle. It's really, really big, and inside you've done your first promotion. You've put out all these juices or the beverage that you want to sell, and you've done your first run, and then from that run you almost shake the sieve. Okay, and from the sieve you noticed that there were more girls between the ages of 18 to 25 who were buying this particular beverage because maybe the bottle was pink and girls love the color pink, or it looked very cute. And then you realized within that market, the girls are very health conscious, or the people, the consumers that bought it are super health conscious. And then you realized, hold on, then we should be marketing maybe something with zero sugar or less sugar. You might have also realized in that particular big circle that of all the people that bought it, there was a certain percentage of people who were parents who were trying to instill very healthy habits with their kids. And then you're like, oh, hold on, moms love this. So how do we target moms? And then you realize something else about the age group or the demographics, people who love to shop. You know what it's like when you're working with Google and how algorithms work and how the search engine optimization works, right? Same thing. It's now you're honing in and you're kind of creating a little smaller circle so that you're targeting that mom, that lady, or that
Exactly.
guy, who really enjoy the product, who really engage with it, so that instead of speaking to the big circle, you now like zero in on the people that you realize like that is the market.
Exactly. And just to add on that is, like, it's expensive to communicate your brand. So if you don't have correct and accurate consumer insights, you're going to communicate to someone that doesn't care. So
Yeah.
you're wasting money.
Correct.
It's absolutely critical for the organization to have a clear understanding of their consumer belief demographic so that they target exactly the right market.
Yeah. I mean, one of the most important marketing arms is where you put your money or your campaign in terms of social media. What if everybody that consumed your product actually loved Instagram and hated Facebook, because Facebook would
Exactly.
be an older demographic? But now that you've realized it's the 18 to 25-year-olds and where they hang out, it's TikTok and it's Instagram. So instead of putting your money in Facebook and you realize, hey, how come no one's engaging with my campaign? How come no one's talking about it? And then you're like, hold on, that's because people between 18 and 25 are not actually sitting on LinkedIn, or they're not actually sitting anywhere near Facebook, but where they actually are playing is Insta and on TikTok. So that's kind of how you have to direct them, right?
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
So when it comes to data interpretation and actionable insights, what do we need to emphasize? What is important here when it comes to data interpretation and actionable insights?
So I think we've touched on sections of this. It doesn't make sense for any organization or agency to have all this data and they don't know how to interpret. What do we do with it? And what actionable steps can we put in place to use this data to effectively advertise the brand? So when you get your expensive data, because data is expensive, a lot of people, they get the data, they have abundance of data, but they don't know what to do with it. So make sure if you can't do it in-house, get an agency that can help you, because they work with it a lot, different markets, different targets, different companies, brands, so that they create strategies, a way forward, basically, to sit down and say, this is what the data is saying. Mm-hmm. Even stand back and say, this is what the data is saying. Then the company can decide, okay, thank you for the data. Let's, based on, let's say, the target market being girls between 18 and 25, busy on TikTok, okay, and they're health conscious. So, and the product that we have aligns with that. So let's put an actionable strategy in place for us to advertise to these specific target markets. That's basically it in a nutshell.
Oh, I love that. I just love how you unpacked that whole thing. In my head, I'm actually visualizing the whole process. This is pretty cool. Situational analysis. I thought this was going to be super serious, but I just loved the way it was snackable and easy to understand. If I were to ask you, there's a definition that I'm not familiar with, but I thought it was pretty interesting to ask you. It's called a iterative process. What is that? How do I pronounce that first of all, and what does that even mean?
The process must be continuous in my eyes. So you can't now get the data and do the market analysis and say, okay, guys, this is what it is. Let's do this and for 5 years and see what's happening. You need to continuously look at the data. Data changes with the trends these days, with the different generational cohorts. I mean, Gen Zs and Alphas, and everything's changing. So you need to continuously do a situational analysis to look at the targets and the environments. And basically.
And you also want to stay top of mind. Do you know what I mean? You want your
Yeah.
consumers to know that you haven't suddenly disappeared. You don't do something in week 1 and week 2 and then poof, you're gone. Because, we're going to forget about you. We're not going to buy you a drink
Yeah.
and we've moved on. So it's important. Hey, you treat it like a relationship, okay? You got to keep at it. You can't start in
Yeah.
week 1 and by week 3 you're like, I'm done. No, it's a
Yeah.
relationship. You really have to nurse
Exactly.
it. You have to figure out the kinks. You got to figure out like what works for your partner and what doesn't. And then once it works out well, you have a little rhythm going. Boom. Next thing you know, you're onto like engagement. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think these days, especially, I mean, with constant change. A while back, Facebook was the thing, and now I'm using Facebook. So, and
Yeah.
I'm now. I mean, I don't, so if you have the data, like you said, you must implement it as well and change it continuously.
Yeah.
No.
Just keep up with those trends.
That's
AC,
it.
as we wrap up situational analysis, one of the last things I was talking about is just having alignment with your business objectives, stressing that importance of aligning with the findings, aligning with your brand and your strategy, and hopefully it should contribute successfully.
Yeah, so I think your brand, definitely each company's brands has a inherent structure, culture, actually, and it has a goal. Organization's goal must definitely align with advertising strategy always. If that's not the case, it's a relationship that's not gonna hold very strong. So definitely continuous alignment with the business objectives. If that's not the case, you need to directors need to sit and realize and realign their objectives. Let's make it personal. Like a human being can't believe a certain thing and then the next day you do something that totally disalign with your morals and with your structure. So yeah, the same with organization.
Awesome. AC, thank you so much for unlocking something that I think I absolutely loved learning about, situational analysis. And I really hope that you guys loved learning with AC and myself. And hopefully you'll tune in to our next edition of Study Sesh, brought to you by Boston Broadcast. Take it easy.